Hello, I am Orry, and I'm a man of my word, so here I am. Today I'm literally just going to cover the balance changes, like I said in the previous video. So we will get straight into them without wasting time. I have seen these. Obviously, my group's been talking about them. It's been all over Twitter, Discord. There are a lot of unhappy people for certain sections, and some happy people. I have a couple of things, like percentage increases. Don't have them for every one of them, but at least ones I know I can mention. So we'll just get straight through. Again, I've still got kind of a little bit of a frog in my throat, essentially. So if I'm coughing, I apologize. Again, I'll try to cut them out, but we'll see how it goes. Well, let's get into it. First, let's go. Right. Action traits have been adjusted as follows. Each action trait is listed as it appears at level 100. Cool. Oh, I will go through the job guide as well, actually, at the end of some reasons why. I read these and they're kind of interesting, but we'll see. Cool. But first of all, Paladin. We have Total Eclipse. Potency has been increased from 100 to 120. Prominence. This is AoE. Combo potency increased from 170 to 220. Holy Circle. Divine Might being the one you get when you do an AoE combo, or when you do just a combo where you get to use a free one. It's now at 250. Rec potency is now at 350. That's 50 like each. Confiteor, reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 50% to 60%. Okay, so Confiteor, the entire Confiteor combo has had a, basically your drop off is now more, so it's higher. That also includes for Imperator and Blade of Honor. Damn. Okay, so it's basically an entire confit combo. But I think it should balance out where your AoE is better, especially with like Holy Circle, I guess. Warrior. Heavy Swing. The trait melee mastery 2 will now increase potency from 200 to 240. Okay. Storm's Path. The trait melee mastery 2 will now increase from 200 to 220. The same trait will now increase the combo potency from 480 to 500. The same with Storm's Eye. Okay, so Storm's Eye, Storm's Path. Buffed. Actual buff. Nice. I think Warrior was a little bit shy, from what I understood. So it's nice to see that they got something there. Upheaval, also 20 potency. Chaotic Cyclone's potency has come down by 100, but that all likely to do with the fact that Primal Rend, Primal Wrath, Primal Rumination are now better on second target beyond. Basically their drop off is now only at least on first target. So overall single target buffs to Warrior. What net increases I can't tell you, like percentage wise. I don't know that one, but it's nice. It'll potentially like close the gap a little bit. Yeah, and I say yeah for reasons as I'll scroll down afterwards, because there is very interesting. Anyhow, Dark Knight. Solid Earth. Reduction in potency after first target has been changed from 50 to 25. Shadowbringer, same effect. So AoE is now better, which is good. Impalement, potency has been reduced from 320 to 300. Very likely to do with these. And Esteem having the same effect for AoE. Now, the reason why I say this was, yeah, we'll see, is because of what now, where I will go. Gunbreaker. Really did not need a buff. I don't know, but Reign of Beasts potency has been increased from 800 to 1000. Noble Blood potency has been increased from 1000 to 1100. Sure. Didn't need this, but Gunbreakers rejoice, be happy. You have more damage. So Yay. That's right. Cool. Right, Monk. Now, they said they were buffing melees. I thought they were going to do ranged attacks. So far, collectively, as we'll go through this, it just looks like AoE as a whole. They've really tweaked the drop-offs. So we'll see from there. And they do mention as to why in the job guide, which obviously we will go through. So we will take a look at that. But let's go. Monk. Tornado Kick. Reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 50 to 40%. Nice. Elixir Field from 70 to 40. Nice. Flint Strike, which you never want to use, from 70 to 40. Enlightenment. Potency has been reduced from 200 to 160. In light of the fact that all of these related AoE changes obviously make them good. Reduction in potency is from 70 to 40. Phantom Rush is 50 to 40. Now this one's big because of how powerful Phantom Rush is. Obviously it takes a while to get, but it is a very strong skill. Elixir Burst, 70 to 40. Nice. Wind's Reply goes from 900 to 140. That's every 90 seconds. That's good. Good. And then Fire's Reply, also once every minute, from 1200 to 1400. Damn. And drop off for all of them from 50 to 40. So this real good, really good. I get Monk. I don't know what the percentage increases. I sadly don't play Monk all that much, but I know our Monk seems happy. Let's go on to Dragoon. Now, Dragoon didn't get a lot, which is good because Dragoon was already in a very good spot as melees go. Probably one of the stronger two. Dragoon and Ninja being like really up there. But anywho, it got buffs anyway. And I will read why. Anyway, cool. Dragon's Bane, melee trait is taking it from 440 to 460, so 20 potency. Stardiver, from 820 to 840, another 20 potency. And then you've got the Heaven's Thrust, the melee trait, oh, it's 160, but you don't want that. The combo potency is now 460, so it's 20 potency, 6 potency across the board. Obviously, it results in more of that when you come to because like this is Stardiver's like once every minute, but Dragon's Bane and Heaven Thrust is more often, so it results in like per minute more of a raise. But sadly, I do not have a percentage for these. But it's an increase on an already very strong job. So 3 buffs, cool. Ninja. We'll ignore this one because it doesn't really matter. When executed from the target's rear, yeah, again, doesn't matter. You want combo potencies realistically. The trait Melee Mastery 3 will now increase the combo potency from 330 to 400. The trait will increase combo potency from its target's rear, so it's positional. So it's from 440 to 460. This is obviously excluding the extra potency you get from the kunai buff from having an armor, like from using armor crush. So obviously don't think, oh shit, alien edge is stronger than armor, like is weaker than armor crush. Well, obviously there is the potency increase on top of that. Mujin Satsu, which I believe is the first, oh no, it's the second step in the combo. I think it's Death Blossom into this one. So they've dropped that by 10. But that will likely be because there is AoE buffs in here somewhere. Right, Armor Crush. Ignore that bit. We don't care about this because we want combo potencies. So it's gone up 20. And then 20 from flank. Obviously, because ideally, yeah, you want positionals. So it's 500. It's decent. It's good. Obviously, if you can't execute it from the flank, it's just still 60 potency difference. But it's not too bad. It's good. Decent buffs. Dokomori potency is no longer reduced after the first enemy. Decent. So that's probably why Mujin Satsu got its potency dropped. Bava, 20 potency increase. Either way, whether you use it naturally or whether it's under Masonry, 20 potency. Nice. Phantom from 50 to 25. Kunai's Bane from 50 to 25. Hellfrog has had its potency reduced, courtesy of these reasons. And Temri Jindo. I actually don't know which one Temri Jindo is. But that, again, from 50 to 25. Excuse me. So, yes, this is exactly why. Like, these being nerfed. Oh, wait, not that one. These ones, so Mujin Satsu and Hellfrog, while it looks like a nerf, it will all balance AoE out and it will be a buff to AoE. Samurai. Now I can tell you the percentage increase for Samurai. This was likely the job I will be playing this tier. So Samurai. What have we got? We have Hisatsu. This is just your normal AoE. They've dropped it from 120 to 100. That's fine. It's never had any drop off, but due to adjustments here, it will be fine. Gurren, again, from 500 to 400, which I think now makes Gurren only a gain on 3 targets, if I remember correctly. I would have to check, but I'm pretty sure Gurren is... I mean, I'll check right now for you. Give me 1 second. Just find Gurren. Well, in fact, I'll find Sene. Sene is the easier one to find. Where are you? But there are reasons for this. Like, there are reasons. Yeah, okay, so it's basically flat potency. Like, it's potency neutral on 2 targets. Potency increase on 3. Sene's 800. Shoha reduction has gone from 65 to 50. This is your answer why. Namikiri got a 100 potency buff. Yay. Which obviously it's guaranteed crit, so 1000 potency guaranteed crit. Good. And it got its got a buff to its AoE. So it went from 75 drop off to 50 drop off, which is nice. Which means in AoE will on 2 targets is 1500 potency, which is nice. Damage buffs aside, just as a flat value. Cool. Obviously, the same thing with Kaishi Namikiri. Also got 100 potency buff. Zanshin went up 40 potency, went from 60 to 50. Good. We like this. And then Tendo Setsugeka and Tendo Kaishi Setsugeka went from 1020 to 1100, which we like. We like these things. Tendo's good. 1 minute comes and we do big attacks. We like this. It just strengthens Samurai's 1 minutes and then like their identity. All of this on value based on what the balancers done their mathematics. It's about a 2-ish%, between 2 and like 2.3% increase. It's pretty substantial actually. And then with the Picto adjustments, which we will get to, it's likely that Samurai will probably end up being dance partner again, because it's pretty close anyway. Anywho, Reaper. Pretty standard stuff. Void Reaping and Cross Reaping, now 540, kind of decent. Like nothing to laugh at. Like kind of decent. You do so it's what's it called? It's 40, and you do 4 of them. So it's like 160 potency per inch shroud. Not bad. That's just raw numbers. There's obviously your buffs and stuff in there. However, decent. Harvest Moon. Reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 50 to 40. Decent. Plentiful Harvest is 60 to 40. Good. Sadly, they still haven't removed the buff system thing off it yet. But we can pray Copium. And by that I mean the stack system, because it shouldn't be there. Anywho. Communio, same thing. 60 to 40. Nice. More AoE is always good. Sacrificium, a 70 potency increase, as well as a buff from 50 to 40% drop off. Nice. Melee Mastery no longer increases the potency of Spinning Scythe and Nightmare Scythe. I guess they just are a lower value now, but that's obviously because of all this, which is fine. Execution is Guillotine. They've dropped the potency of because of obviously AoE, which is fine. And then Perfectio, again, got its AoE buffed from 60 to 40%. Good. Overall, not too bad. Not too bad. Probably won't mean much of a change for them in terms of where they were, but yeah. Vipers, very standard. You basically, it's 40 potency for every legacy. So your reawaken windows are stronger. So first, second, third, and fourth legacy all got a 40 potency increase. So it's 160 base value. Obviously, you've got your damage buff on top of that, which kind of adjusts it. And obviously, in 2 minutes and raid buffs, it works out slightly different. But on paper, 160 everything you said. It's not too bad. It's a buff, but likely same to the Reaper. Won't really change much in where they sit. For Vipers, it could depend on fight-related things. If it's full uptime, not much of a change. If uptime is kind of hard to get, then yes, it'll be a little bit harder. Physical ranged. Now, this one makes me sad. Excuse me. And we'll get on to it because I don't believe physical ranged and melee should have the gap they do. Melees have a lot more uptime, and even if they say they are forcing more, and we'll read that, even if they say due to design of fights that like uptime's gonna be harder to get, I still believe that the DPS gap is far too large, and to see the not that many changes is kind of yeah. Anywho, Bard Pitch Perfect actually had a reduction, so it got nerfed 5%. Shadow Bite potency though, potency increased from 170 to 180. Barrage potency from 270 to 280. The Shadow Bite is your AoE version, which is probably why that's got enough. Laden's Bite potency is from 130 to 140. I think that's your new spam. That's a new spam AoE. I think. I don't really play at Bard, so Bards, forgive me, please. Resonant Arrow, as well as Radiant and Encore. Again, from 50 to 55, so they've had slight nerfs, but I think just AoE in general buttons got buffed instead. Machinist. I am sorry, Machinists. I am very, very, very sorry that you are basically a forgotten job, because it's not okay, but apparently it is. I mean, you have a place is a very good party finder carry, but that's not fair. In all honesty, something needs doing to Machinists. It's kind of sad. Anywho, let's go through them. Spread shot potency has been reduced from 140 to 110. And this will be because I'll go through the actual potencies and then we'll read the other ones. Scattergun from 150 to 130. And the reason why this is the case is because Ricochet went from 50 to 40. Chainsaw went from 65 to 50. This is all like the reduction in potency after the first target. So it's like how much damage it does after it hits the first target. So second target onwards. So 65 to 50. Double check, 58 to 40. Checkmate, 50 to 40. Marksman Mastery 2 no longer increases potency of Scattergun. Again, this is all because of these reductions. Excavator, 65 to 50. Full Metal Field, 50 to 40. So these got nerfed because the drop off got like the difference got dropped, and sadly that's all Machinist got. Not a single target potency buff, which is wild to me, like actually. But we move. Dancer, Windmill, potency increase from 100 to 120. The drop off for standard finish, 75 to 60. Single standard finish or double standard finish, 75 to 60, 75 to 60. Blade Shower got buffed. Rising Windmill got buffed by 20 potency each of them, and Blood Shower 20 potency. Fan Dance 50 to 60, so that I got an increase in reduction. Tech Finish, decrease in reduction, so that's now it's 75 to 60. First target was single tech and double tech and triple tech. Basically this one, because you shouldn't be doing single, triple thingy, just quad tech is what you should be doing, is 75 to 60. Good. It's just more AoE. Saber Dance, now a little bit worse off, so 50 to 60. Talana, 50 to 60. Final Dance 4, 50 to 60. Last Dance, 50 to 60. Finishing Move, 75 to 60. And then Dawn of the Dance, 50 to 60. So there's some mix there. Some are basically doing less after the first target than they were in 7.1, and then vice versa. And then just in general, potency of your AoE has gone up. So dancers are happy, maybe? We'll see. Black Mages. This is where a lot of the uproar comes, because a lot of people just aren't happy with the adjustments. And there is one change that really doesn't make sense to me, and it's right near the bottom. So, Blizzard. Cast time has been reduced from 2.5 to 2 seconds. This means it's just faster now. Aspect, the effect of Astral Fire on Umbrella Ice no longer expires. Just means, well, you can't lose a no-Q on Astral Fire anymore. It's just persistent. Not necessarily a bad thing. It depends how it actually plays and how the fights are. This is the one big thing about this. It was very much not asked for, and I love Black Mage. Used to be a Black Mage main. While this probably isn't what a lot of Black Mages want, we have to wait to see how it actually ends up. And I know a bunch of the non-standard things probably won't exist anymore. But there might be things that pop up, who knows? And it really sucks to feel like your job has been gutted. That is the case for a lot of them. Summoners are standing in the corner going, first time. Because obviously, that's happened. But Black Mage under the trigger again. Which sucks for them. So if you do see friends or other people complaining about Black Mage, it's likely because it's a job they loved and they just hate to see it go this way. I understand it, and my sympathy is with you. Mourn as you wish. Mourn with other Black Mages. And hopefully when you get to try it, you still kind of find it fun, even though you don't get the freedom you did before. Anyway, I digress. Fire. 2.5 to 2 seconds. When you get Firestarter, doesn't expire anymore. Thunder. The effect of Thunderhead no longer expires. Thunder 2, Thunderhead no longer expires. Basically, you get the proc. It stays indefinitely. Which, in terms of, like, maybe not Firestarter, but Thunderhead only makes sense to me. Because the dot was so bloody long anyway, and half of the time you would overwrite Thunderheads. Obviously, this is I'm playing from a standard point of view. I didn't divulge into non-standard too much, but half the time you switch between Umbral and Astral and you get a Thunderhead anyway. So it was never going to expire regardless. So having Thunderhead no longer expire, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. It didn't anyway. The proc was like 45 seconds. You're never in fire 45 seconds, as well as the dot lasting as long as it does. So that's whatever. Anywho, Fire 3. Potency has been increased from 280 to 290. Blizzard 3, 280 to 290. Umbral Soul. Policy expiration has been removed, so this will now just give you your Umbral Hearts. Obviously, you don't need to halt the expiration of Umbral Ice, considering there no longer is a timer. Freeze. Cast time has been reduced from 2.8 to 2 seconds. They really want it fast. Thunder 3, same as the Thunderhead. Flare from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. So we got big burny flares now. Nice. Notice there isn't a Fire 2 in here. Lamau. Just means the devs know that Fire 2 shouldn't exist either. Ley lines. Effect duration has been reduced from 30 to 20 seconds. Very likely to do with the fact that you're now much faster, and raid buffs are 20 seconds, so they'll probably want you to play into raid buffs more if possible. Cool, makes sense. I mean, you lose 10 seconds and don't gain anything for it, but it is what it is, especially if you're casting faster in general. So, Blizzard 4. Cast time has been reduced from 2.5 seconds to 2. The potency has been reduced from 320 to 300. Okay. Fire 4 from 2.8 to 2. That's quite the increase. And the potency has been increased from 300 to, well, 320 to 300. Now, the one thing to bear in mind is when it says fire spells, you have your Astral Fire buff on top of that, which is like 80% extra damage. So if you're looking at it, like from the outside, you think fucking hell, 300's a bit low. There is an 80% fire buff that goes on top of that, so it's much higher. Thunder 4, the effect of Thunderhead no longer expires. Follow them all in suit, makes sense. Foul. Cast time before learning Enhanced Foul has been reduced from 2.5 to 2 seconds. Don't agree with this. Should always just be instant. Fuck off. Reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 60 to... Okay, that's quite the increase in potency to 2 targets foul. And I'll elaborate on this a little further. Foul has a cast at level 70, but as soon as you get Xenoglossy and get Enhanced Foul, it's instant. It should just be instant. It makes 70 Black Mage a lot more comfortable, especially in older ultimates. It just should be instant. It's foolish in my opinion to have it any other way. Maybe other Black Mages disagree. And don't get me wrong, I have enjoyed having to because I played in Shadowbringers as a Black Mage, so when I had to use Foul for 2 targets in T and stuff, yeah, I mean, it was enjoyable, but it would have been nice at that time for it to be instant, which it was not at that time. Anywho, I digress again. Despair. Cast time before learning Enhanced Astral Fire has been reduced from 3 to 2. Nice. Oh, okay, yeah, so what this basically means, so Enhanced Astral Fire is a buff you get at level 100. Once you have this, Despair becomes instant. So this only matters up until level 100. After level 100, the cast time on Despair is non-existent anyway, because it's an instant spell. Xenoglossy. Potency has been increased from 880 to 890. Another 10% on Xenoglossy. Feels good, man. That'll eventually give it a couple more patches. That'll be up there with another 10 potency each patch. Enhanced Enochian. This one, obviously they've just thinking, but it's the lower one that's the more important one. Effect potency has been reduced from 25 to 22. Silliness. Paradox. Potency has been increased from 520 for 540. The effect of Firestarter no longer expires. They've got rid of the Umbralize, and because obviously they've removed the timers. High Thunder 2. Thunderhead things. No, so this one's the one I don't agree with. Enhanced Enochian 4. Effect has been reduced from 32 to 27%. That is one ridiculous reduction of a percentage, which I've seen a couple of numbers floating around. All of these changes, everything that's happened, and then we'll get on to, Flare Star, cast time from 3 to 2, potency increase from 400 to 500, add the Astral Fire on top of that, 80%, as well as the Enochian. However, this 5% being like this nets Black Mage a buff of about 1%-ish. That's the math I've seen around, which remains to be seen with how the Picto nerfs go, but realistically could probably have still been more. 28, 29. There's no, but then, yeah, it's hard to say, but I think 5% like destruction on Enochian is so unwarranted. It's just so unfair. I'm not a fan. But yeah, again, respect your Black Mage friends, sympathize with them, nurture them. It's a tough time right now because it's really following suit with a very simplified or a very different structure. While I personally don't think I'll mind this new faster Black Mage, I can understand those I want. Stamina buffs, just flat buffs. Necrotize, potency increases from 440 to 460. Exodus, which is the big boom from your Solar Bahamut, potency increased by 100, so it's 1500 now from 14, so big pog. Red Mage, Vice of Thorns, 700 to 800. Prefugilance, I probably butchered that bad boy. Potency from 900 to 1000. Extra 200 potency. We take it. Is the elephant in the room. Pictomancer. I'm going to skim through these. I will give you the bottom line because we're already at half an hour. The bottom line is they have reduced the damage the Picto does in bursts. They have reduced the damage. It will probably net in a general damage nerf anyway. But they've reduced the amount of burst it does, and they've put that into, and they've kind of redistributed it a little bit and put it into its downtime, into its filler. And there is a reason for this. Pictomancer is undeniably ridiculous when it comes to downtime fights, and you'll have likely seen this in Through. It is so crazy because you kind of didn't really do much in filler. You kind of just prepared for 2 minutes, and then your 2 minutes turned on, and then you went absolutely off your mind and did unprecedented amounts of damage. Like, it's craziness, like ridiculous damage. So now they've taken some of that. They've obviously reduced the amount of damage in general, a little bit to pull it back in line, and also then redistributed its number, so it's got more downfall in downtime. So it actually loses something, and yeah, and this burst is just not as high as it was because it is kind of ridiculous. So across the board, yes, the only one that matters is the one when you're at level 100. So it went from, so that your normal one, so your fire in red, arrow in green, war in blue. So your single target combo is now 440 to 520, 480 to 560, 520 to 600. That's your to build up. Then you've got Fire 2 in red, which is AoE. That has gone from 120 to 180. Mog of the Ages, they have nerfed, rightfully so. It's gone from 1,300 at level 100. I'm doing so it's 1,300 to 1,000, and the drop off is now increased. But it's a free thing, so the drop off's fine. Like, it was never like. It's never like choose between a skill or another one. It's just got free drop off. So it now does less damage. Pomuse 1.1k to 800, rightfully so. With the drop off also getting increased. Wing Muse, similar thing. They both live in the same kind of land. 1.1k to 800. These are all your, but like, it's not even just your bursts. They're just naturally really strong OGCDs, like very, very strong for what they are. So they brought them back in line with the redistribution and the nerf. So again, drop off 60 to 70%. Arrow 2, in green, and Water 2, that's just your AoE combo. Oh wait, yeah, it's your AoE combo. My brain broke for a second. Yeah, from 140 to 200, 160 to 220. So you get a little bit more AoE there. Hammer. Oh, well, hammer stamp. It is now, after all of the little masteries that you get, it's come from 560 to 480. Now, obviously, bear in mind that this is still guaranteed crit direct hit. So it's still going to do good damage. It just won't do as ridiculous damage as it did. And the drop-off has obviously been made worse, so it's now 70% instead of 60. Blizzard in Siam. Buffed. This would be your sub-palette combo. So it's from 800 to 900. It's nice. Can't complain about that. These are your filler bits. Blizzard 2 would be your AoE within the sub-palette from 240 to 360. Stone in yellow. Thunder in magenta. These are your next single targets. So 840 to 940. 100 potency increase. 880 to 980. 100 potency increase. Very good. And then Stone 2 in yellow. Thunder 2 in magenta from 280. Well, so it's from 260 to 380. 280 to 400. Good. Starry Muse, the grand effect will now have simplified appearance when battle effects are set to show limited. So it will probably exist. You just, yeah, it's not going to be invisible anymore, but it'll have some kind of simplified appearance. Neat, I guess. Holy and White. Potency has been increased from 4420 to, oh, okay, the only one we care about is this one. So it's now 600. So Holy and White has had a potency increase. That's not bad, a little bit more useful. It tends to be the same as the end. Yeah, so it's always the same as Water and Blue. It just doesn't give you the gauge. We scroll that down. It's basically if you can't finish the combo, and yeah. Anywho, but it's gone from 60 to 65 drop off. That's fine, but it's had a damage increase, so it's really not too bad at all. Hammer Brush from 620 to 520. This would be the second step. in the hammer combo. So it's 100 potency decrease. Good. It does far too much potency for it being crit direct hit. With obviously an extra 10% drop off. Polishing hammer. 680 to 560. Good. From 60 to 70%. Good. Comet in black. From 780 to 870. Buff. Well, it's from 880 to 980. So Comet in black got an increase. Cool. But it's drop off an extra 5%. Some of the big ones: Clawed Muse, Fang Muse from 1.1k to 800, an extra 10% drop off. Maydeen and Star Prism, both 1400 potency skills, one of them being OGCD. Wild. 1400 to 1100. Good. Star Prism, same treatment, 60 to 70. Good. Overall, I'm interested to see what the balance for Pictomancer becomes. Where they excel and what that kind of stuff. They might still be stronger than Black Mage. We'll see. But it'll be close. Fingers crossed Black Mage is stronger, but we'll see just what this change does and how it does affect them like going forward. That's DPS. Healers are left, and then we can box off this 36-minute video. Healers. Dia. So on White Mage, potency has been increased from 75 to 80. Damage over time has also been increased from 75 to 80. Some more dot damage White Mages. Rejoice. Scholar, Biolysis. Same thing. Damage over time has been increased by 75 to 80. So make sure you keep that dot up, and does an extra 5 potency per tick now. Astro. Gravity is now 140. Oracle. Potency is now reduced by 50% after the first target. So Oracle got adjusted. Clearly they thought it was too strong. I'm not actually quite sure what Oracle does. Not really healed this expansion yet, really. Sage. Equation Dosis. Potency been increased from 75 to 80. Fair. Cool. Healers just die increases across the board. What's this? The effective. Okay, cool. But yes, this is the that was the balance changes. We'll have to wait to see how it all translates in game and see basically how it is. It's run on for about 40 minutes. So I will spare you reading the bitch, but I will link to the job guide. It's very, very much worth going through for sure, just to read. Because it's somewhat insightful. The TLDR is fight design. And that's why the casters were buffed. That's why Black Mage was changed. Because it's a bit harder to cast and stuff like that. So they increase the damage. And same with melee, it's harder to keep up time due to the way fights work. This remains to be seen. We can see how normal, savages, and extremes and stuff work going forward. But that's the kind of the make or break for it. So we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. If you got any comments, anything about anything I've said, any jobs, I would love to have chats in the comments below. So just pop me a message, or even if I was wrong about certain things, educate me too. I would love to have a nice civil conversation with you guys in the comments section. So until the next one, which will be tomorrow, because I will be live on Twitch doing story and other assorted content. So then I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.